Hey guys, and welcome. And I am really excited to share this with you. This is something I've been working on in anticipation here for FC27 in all career modes moving forward. It is the Career Mode Companion app. And this, I have always loved keeping track of stats in the history of my career modes and looking back and remembering some of the great players that helped carry me through promotions to Champions League all through past FC games. So, what we're going to do here is I'm going to take you through everything that I have built inside of the app to help try and keep track of everything that you do inside of your career mode. So we're here on the homepage. We have all our different saves. We're going to start a new one here just so you can see how it begins. So maybe this is our FC27 save. We're going to give it a color. We're going to give it a name, and then we're going to name our manager. And then we're going to hit career save. We're going to jump in here and we have our first season. We can obviously choose what season it is, give it a year, and then choose the club that we are using. We can manually enter a league if it's not found, but we have most of the different ones here. You can see all the different countries here. So we have England, Spain, Germany, all the big ones. And then we have all our divisions, so we can choose from there as well. And then we can also choose our continental competition. We also have our extra competitions that we can add a custom one to if we need to. So we can do that. We're going to give this a team name, and we're going to create our season, and that quickly begins and gets us into it. So we are going to go and show you how you can add players to your squad. You can import real rosters if you want to. Just search the name and you can drop that in there. Or we can add players normally. We can do a search, or we can add them manually if we want to. We can add a player photo, add a name, position, secondary position, nationality. We can put in a birth date or just an age if we want to keep track of that. And we have our shirt number and if they came through the youth academy as well. So all that is how you can get started with your career mode. And there's going to be a lot inside of this. So don't feel like you have to keep track of everything. It is all completely optional. You can choose how much you want to keep track of and what you want to keep track of. So we have our season that I've been keeping track of here with Fiorentina, and we have our homepage. So on the homepage, this is where we have a quick recap of everything that's happening inside of the career mode. So let's go back to a previous season. We'll go to season 2. And we have here the number of matches that we played. We have our 6 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses, 19 points on the season. And then we have our goal differential here as well. We can keep track of where we finished in the league. We can set, how far we went in European competitions if we get knocked out in the league format. It also keeps track of everything here on the top. So for this one, we were doing our conference league and we got 6 points. And then we also can keep track of cup matches in there as well. And I'll kind of give you a quick snapshot of everything that's gone on in your season. We're going to skip over here the log last match and the new season and trophy. We'll get that to in a bit. I want to take a look here though. We do have our recent matches. So you can scroll through here, see the result of all your past victories or draws or loss, everything that happened in the season. You can also click into it. You get a nice little snapshot here. You can see, who scored, who had assists in the game as well. We have our man of the match. We also have our starting 11 and their match rating. So we can click on those and see, how everyone did. We also have our substitutes. So again, a lot of detail in here. Don't feel like you have to keep track of everything if you don't want to, but if you want to, it's all there for you. Below the recent matches, we also have our leaders for the career mode. So over the seasons here so far, Moises Kean, he has 50 appearances and 26 assists, but he does lead our team in goals. We can also come here and look at assists, appearances, and we can see who the leaders are for this career mode. We also, again, have a quick season summary and the results here of all our cups and European competitions. Now moving on, we will jump over to our squad. As we saw before, we can import full teams from FC 27 or 26, depending on what roster we're looking for, or we can add people in manually. We have Ivan here, who is from our youth academy. We have a nice little photo of him. It shows that he was promoted in here. And this is where, inside the squad, we actually get a little bit more detail. And we'll take a look at a couple of these for some different examples. But he has his 1 clean sheet and his 1 start, good match rating. His overall has stayed flat so far. He goes from a 64 to a 64. And then we get a career timeline here. So he started his career June 23rd, and he was promoted from the youth academy. Gives us a nice little look in here. We also can break down here, but we'll take a look at some of these other ones, which will have some more detail. We'll jump out of here and we go over, let's scroll down here through our roster. We have some of our other youth academy players. We can look here at some injury results as well. So if we want to keep track of, hey, why did that player only play 10 or 20 games? Well, he had a broken bone in January and it took him 3 months to recover from it. And that all goes into the timeline as well. Again, we had our $41 million transfer fee, and then we had 2 pretty sizable injuries here for our midfielder. And then we can also come down here and we can keep scrolling. Another good example here of what we can do with it. We can look at by competition, how many appearances they have per competition, how many goals, their average match rating. And then one thing we also added here is our career highlights. So you can upload highlights from FC 27 and you can put that into your career mode. You can link it to a certain game and a certain player. So you can always come back here and say, hey, what did it look like when he scored his 100th goal? Or what was that Champions League winner that he put in? Or maybe a big shot from outside the box. We can get a nice little highlight package here for our players. He puts those in and off he goes celebrating the goal. We also have our youth academy, so we can keep track of these. If we want, we can promote them right from here and it jumps them into the senior squad. And we also have all our former players, people that have been sold or released or retired. We can click on them and see, hey, how did they do? David De Gea here, obviously 15 appearances, an average rating of 5.91. Not the best here from him, but gives us a chance to look back and remember players that get let go by the team, so you can always see how everyone did after you finish up a career mode. We'll continue here to our stats. This allows us obviously to see all the different stats that happen through a career mode. You can sort it by appearances, you can sort it by goals, sort it by assists, or by rating. You can also sort it here by season. You could do it by competition. You could also see the top scores for each competition, top assist man for each competition. So however you want to sort and kind of take a look and get an idea of who's really being your big performer for a career mode, that's in there. You can also export this to an Excel or Google Sheets if you want. All sorts of different things that you can do with it. Now we'll move over to transfers. This one's pretty straightforward. Keep track of your ins and outs. You can also keep track of your loans as well. So if we want to have, maybe one of our young players go out on loan, we can choose loan out, choose the team that they're going to go to, what transfer window it is, and when they're returning as well. So it'll automatically update as they return from their loan spell as well. That again will get tracked on the player's card, so you can always remember, hey, that they went out to loan to a smaller club and they came back, they grew by 10 and ended up having a great career after their loan spell. We also have some additional tabs here. We're going to start with trophies. This one's pretty simple. Obviously, all the trophies or the trophy cabinet that we wish we had inside of FC 27. This gives us a nice little record here. Obviously, we got the golden boot from Moises Kean. It would tell us, obviously, if we had any league trophies. We can come in here, select the competition, if we were a winner or runner up, or the league points that we have. We can keep track of everything there. And then we also have our player awards. So we could choose Diego Luna here. Maybe he won the Golden Boot or Ballon d'Or or Best Young Player, Team of the Season. Also a custom award if you want to get creative and put something in there as well. I also really like tracking head to head and seeing, hey, is there one team that seems to really have my number? Or maybe there's a team that I just blow out every single time and I want to remember it. We can come in here, we can see, with this one, it's 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. We're even on goal differential. So nice little battle here. All the different competitions, whether it's a cup competition or in the league, how we did at home versus away. Some nice details there for you. You can come in here and search all your opponents. Again, we saw the highlight package here. We can do screenshots or replays that we want to save in here as well. And then we also have our manager here as well. So we can keep track of everything that the manager does. It'll keep track of our promotions or relegations, number of seasons, how many clubs we're with, wins, lost, draws, our winning percentage, everything from our best league position, how we did in each cup competition, how we did with each team, how we did in each competition, all sorts of different details that if you have a nice long career mode over multiple years with multiple teams, this will give you some really good insight to how you did throughout your full career mode. So that's everything that we have for tracking things. Now, if we want to track it though, and we want to come in here and we want to log our last match, we can come in here, choose the competition. We can choose the team. We can either type it in, or if it's already there, we can add it in here. We can choose home or away, the date of our match day number if we want to. We can then come in here. We can choose, hey, maybe we got a 1-0 win. We can add that in there. And then maybe we want to come in here and, maybe Eliza Mayenda is the one with the goal. We can put in his match rating. Again, you can put in if the person's a starter, is a sub, comes off the bench. This way we can keep track of appearances. Maybe for goalkeeper, we want to keep a clean sheet or man of the match. We can do that as well. We can hit done, hit save match, and then, oh, look at that. Harley Hogg, 10 clean sheets. That's a nice little milestone for him. And that gets put in there for us to let us know, keep track of, milestone achievements that happen throughout our career mode. Now, if we want to go in here and we want to advance a season, we can choose whether we were promoted or not. We can come in here, again, edit our season. Maybe it's 2030 and 2031. Maybe we want to switch, maybe we take a new job, we switch leagues or switch divisions. We can choose, maybe we're going to be in Champions League next year. And then if we're keeping the same team, we can carry our squad over. If we're not, we can uncheck that and we can start fresh with a brand new team. We can create a season. And then we can update the overalls of players. So if you want to keep track of the progression of, maybe someone starts out as a 58 overall and ends up growing to be one of the best of all times, and you want to keep track of that overall rating, go ahead. Or if not, you can just hit save rating and it jumps you into the next season. So that's everything that we have here for the career mode companion. Just a nice, easy way to keep track of everything that's happening throughout your career modes. You can also come in here. If you want to share your career mode out, just copy the link, send it to your friends, send it to followers on Twitter or Instagram or wherever. Let people follow along, and they'll be able to see your top scorers and how you're doing in the league against certain teams, and be able to follow along with your career mode if you want. But it's something that I always love doing. I love looking back at past careers and seeing who some of my best players were and who really helped carry me to greatness or trophies or promotions, or who was those, role players that, did great for a couple seasons and then they get sold on and, they didn't quite meet the overall rating that you needed and fell off. But, some fun names that you can remember having, or some of your biggest transfer fees. But wanted to put it out there. I put a link down below. Follow along with your career modes. Let me know if there's anything else you want to track that you don't see in here. But enjoy FC27 and enjoy keeping track of your career modes.